passage comes from Luke, the 10th chapter. We're going to start at verse number 29 and proceed all the way to verse 35. Now, this is a passage that is very familiar to all of us, the Good Samaritan. We have heard this preached in so many ways, and I want to look into this text, but in a totally different way. We're not going to even focus on the priest or the Levite or even the Good Samaritan. We're going to focus on the road itself and how it is dealing with us in today's time. So let's look at the text. Luke, the 10th chapter, starting at verse number 29. And we have to remember this is where we're starting at is after the place where Jesus is asking, who is your neighbor? So let's dive into the text. And it reads this. But wanting to justify himself, he asked Jesus, "And who is my neighbor?" Jesus replied, "A man was going down from Jerusalem to Jericho and fell into the hands of robbers, who stripped him, beat him, and went away, leaving him half dead. Now by chance a priest was going down that road, and when he saw him, he passed by on the other side. So likewise a Levite, when he came to the place, he saw him, passed by on the other side. But a Samaritan, while traveling, came near him, and when he saw him, he was moved with pity. He went up to him and bandaged his wounds, having poured oil and wine on them. Then he put him on his own animal, brought him to an inn, and took care of him. The next day he took out 2 denarii, gave them to the innkeeper, and said, 'Take care of him, and when I come back, I will repay you whatever more you spend.'" So, like I said, we're not going to be focusing on the priest, the Levite, or even the Good Samaritan. We're going to focus our attention into the road itself. So, let's dive into this after this little short break.
When the Messiah comes, Rome will be nothing!
Until then.
The Nazarene city'd rise again after 3 days. We will lose peace and order if it's true.
Will the people believe it?
The weak will.
There will be no other gods.
Kill him.
The tomb is sealed, guarded with your life.
Tribune, Pilate summons you.
The body has vanished.
His tomb is empty.
Where has he gone?
You tell me.
Already they're proclaiming him risen from death.
The Emperor cannot arrive to unrest. We must find a body.
Combed the city for bodies dead in the last week.
Take them up.
Everyone. His disciples, where are they hiding his corpse?
It was not his followers.
Another body, sir, just revealed.
No.
Who told you the Nazarene was alive?
Mary Magdalene.
You're looking for something you'll never find.
Open your heart and see.
No more lies. What happened to the body?
The ropes, they just exploded. He should have returned by now. I have seen 2 things which cannot reconcile. A man dead without question, and that same man alive again.
What frightens you? Being wrong. Wagering eternity on it.
Let's imagine something. Let's say that you was giving a road a road that was named after you, that was dedicated to you in your name. It's a road that was honoring you. No one else, just you. And on this road, anyone who is traveling on that road or has seen your road, the first thing they would think of would be you. We see this a lot in dedication, primarily when we see in honor of usually an official, a cop, especially on the highway. And sometimes we see this in neighborhoods. This road was dedicated in memory of someone else. But the ones who usually are alive when a road is dedicated for them is usually they did something tremendous, or they donated a lot of money, or they paid for the road themselves to get it donated, to get it dedicated in their name. And we see this a lot. My point is this. We see this road going from Jerusalem to Jericho. As we know, it went down, and I'm not going to go on the subject going down, and I've heard that being preached when looking at this text. But we see this road that extends from Jerusalem to Jericho, and everything on that road usually was dangerous. But there's a hidden message in this. Going back to a road that is dedicated in your name, you have been given a road dedicated in your name in honor of you, and it's already been paid for. God, by sending Jesus, gave us a chance to live, and in doing that, he allowed us to make choices, and having choices, you have a road which is called your life. And traveling your road, you have to determine which way you're going to go on your road. But here's the thing. Usually when someone has a road dedicated in their name, they want to take care of their road. They want to make sure their road stays clean. They don't want no trash, no crime on their road. They don't want anything bad. If the road is breaking down, they make sure that they get it paved, the highway or the road itself. They just take care of it. They make sure it's in tip-top shape. The thing is, why don't we do the same with our roads when Christ has dedicated a road in our name? I mean, that's something to think about. Just think about it. If I know that my road is dirty, I should clean it. That means if I have sin on my road in my life, you would think that I would try to keep it clean so that anyone who sees my road will say, man, he keeps his road in tip-top shape, meaning your life. And I know at times there might be a pothole in your road, but it doesn't mean that the pothole has to stay there. You would do your best to get it patched up or cleaned up. That's just something to think about. And how it relates to the text was that on this road from Jerusalem to Jericho, the priest, the Levite, when traveling their road spiritually, they didn't like what they saw. And what they saw was a man who was in need. And so they decided, let's cross to the other side and act like it doesn't exist. But the Good Samaritan did the opposite. He didn't like what his road had on it. And I'm not talking about the physical road. I'm not talking about the Jerusalem to Jericho. even though that's where the man was there laying down almost dead was. But in his life, he did not like the man who was in pain. And it says in the text that when he saw it, he felt pity. So that means that he wanted to get it clean. If he would have passed the man just like the priest and the Levite, his road would have been dirty. But he didn't let that happen. He took charge. He got his road clean by taking care of the man and taking him to the end. And it relates to us in this 21st century too. So if we're traveling our road and we have a lot of things that come in our lives that need to be cleaned up, we should clean it up. But also be in help to someone who is in need, even though it has nothing to do with us. That's something to really think about. Because when we do that, when we make sure our road is clean and help those, just like the passage says, who is your neighbor, and help those, then ones who see this will tend to fall into following by your witness statement. So the question, like Jesus said, who is your neighbor? Well, until we meet again, I pray for you, you pray for me, for we're all a part of God's family. Amen.
I wish I lived at your house. Whenever my parents are together, they just fight.
From the creators of Courageous and Fireproof.
I'm out of town this week.
When were you going to tell me?
I just did.
When family life is a battle,
you do not want World War III to break out in your home.
It needs to be fought the right way.
You need to do your fighting in prayer.
Keep fighting the good, fighting the good, fighting the good fight, good fight.
War Room, rated PG.